Hello and welcome. You're watching Life with Matthew, and today I'm going to show you how to take any video you have and turn it into a slideshow of the exact same length absolutely for free. There are going to be 2 additional pieces of software that you have to install in addition to having the script that I wrote, and that's going to be FFmpeg and Python. And I'm going to show you right now how to install and set it up and use this. But first, I want to give a huge shout out to my very first Subscribestar supporter, John DeMarco. John, thank you so much for helping, and if you guys are appreciating these videos, I hope that you will leave a comment, hit like, subscribe, ring that bell icon, yada yada yada, and if you could, support me over on Patreon or Subscribestar. Even just $1 a month goes a long way to being able to support me to do videos like this and lots of great reviews. So with that said, let's get going, guys. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need to do is, if you don't already have 7-Zip installed, head over to your internet browser and go to 7-zip.org and download 7-Zip. This is an extremely useful dzipper program that lets you do all kinds of formats, and I highly recommend if you don't have it already. Once it's installed, go ahead and run it once as the administrator just to let it associate itself with the 7-Zip file format. To do this, just go to Tools and click on Options. If you want to make 7-Zip the default program for just about every file type for all users, hit the plus sign by all users. If you just want to do it for yourself, then just click on your own username. I'm going to do it for all users, even though honestly it doesn't make that much of a difference, and hit Apply. The next thing we're going to need to do is install FFmpeg for Windows. To do this, you're going to come back to your internet browser and go to this link, and I will include this in the description area in the video below. But you're going to want to scroll down and download the version that is the Get Full version. This is going to give you all the possible libraries you need in order to run FFmpeg. Once it's done downloading, just open the file and extract this to your desktop to start off with. We're going to rename this from FFmpeg-2021 blah 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 just to FMpeg, which will make our lives a lot easier. Once you've renamed it, we want this in a central file location so that we can add it to our system path and use it from anywhere we want to on our computer. So I'm going to cut it off my desktop and go to C drive, then Program Files, and paste it here. Next, I want to add the bin folder to my system path. The easiest way to do this is to actually open up the bin folder, and then here in your location toolbar, click once and copy the full path. That's the C:/program-files/fmpeg/bin. Then we're going to right click on the start icon and go to the system option. Scroll down at the bottom and select Advanced System Settings. In here, we're going to want to click on Environment Variables so that we can add your file path to the system path. Double click under the System Variables area where it says Path. And we're just going to say we want a new path, and you're going to paste the full path that you just copied out of your File Explorer. Once that's done, just say OK, OK, and OK, and close out of your system settings. The next thing we're going to need to do is install Python, and to do this, we're going to go back to our browser and go to this URL. Go ahead and download the latest download Python release. I did all my testing for my script against Python 3.92, however, running it on the current version, which at this time is 3.9.6, it appears to work, despite it giving a few warnings on syntax changes. The actual download link will be at the bottom of this page, so just scroll down and then click on the Windows installer, and I'm assuming you need a 64-bit version, but I mean, check your own version of Windows. Once it's done downloading, just open the file, choose Customize Installation, and remove the idle and Python test suite, unless you want to do Python development on your computer, in which case keep these. But since we just need the actual execution files, you don't need idle or test suite. And quite honestly, if you just want to use it for my one script, you don't even need pip or the documentation, but I'm going to leave this here anyway, and also let it install for all users. Again, I'm going to let it install for all users, and I'm going to add Python to environment variables. This is going to do the exact same thing we just did for FFmpeg for us, so we don't have to do it a second time. I'm going to say yes, go ahead and let it install. And then I'm going to say disable path length limit. This really shouldn't matter for our use, but it's better to have it disabled just for safety. With Python set up, we're going to go ahead and close out of this and go one more time to the web browser and go to this URL. This is URL to the actual script that I created. And the easiest way to get it is just to come over here to the code button and say download zip. Once it's done, open that file and copy the slideshow creator master folder onto your desktop. From here, what you really want is a slideshow Python file, and you're going to need to put this in whatever directory that you have a video that you want to turn into a slideshow. So just for testing, I'm going to create a new folder and drop the slideshow script right into it. And then I'm going to grab a video file at random, copy over, which in this case is going to be Deep Space Nine, Season 6, Episode 3, Sons and Daughters. At this point, we should be able to use the slideshow creator script. So we're going to go ahead and come here to the location bar and type in CMD. This will open a command window straight to the folder that we're working in. It's a neat trick that really helps you get around instead of having to open up your Explorer and then manually change directories to this working folder. To use the script, you're going to type in py for Python, then slideshow.py, then -i. The -i command lets the script know that whatever follows -i is going to be the name of the file that you want to turn into a slideshow. So for this, I'm just going to do a space and then hit tab until the name of the file pops up for me. Once you hit enter, you're going to see that Python 3.96 throws up a couple of syntax error warnings, but this isn't actually going to impact anything. And it's going to automatically grab a screenshot every 5 seconds that we will then combine into one slideshow file. One of the things my script does is tries to estimate how many images are going to be created when it's done. And the way it does this is by just calculating the total length of the video and then dividing by however long you want that individual frame showing. So right now, by default, we are grabbing one image every 5 seconds. So it's going to divide the total length of time by 5 to figure out how many images roughly there should be. Now, once the script is done, it's going to delete all of these image files for you automatically. Or more accurately, it's going to delete any file in your directory that starts with img and ends with a .png. So if you have other pictures in this directory, you may want to back them up before running the script. If you don't want all the stills deleted when you're done, run the script with a -k option, and that way it will keep all the images it creates. I'm not sure why you want this, but hey, it's there if you want it. Now that it's done creating all the images, it's going to start encoding the slideshow. This can take a very short amount of time, like say a couple minutes, to an extremely long amount of time, depending on the number of images created and the power of your computer using to encode. Now that the encoding's done, we can jump back to the original folder and see that the original video was 45 minutes and 36-ish seconds long. If we come to the newly created slideshow video, we'll see that the video is again 45 minutes and 36 seconds long, except instead of being a true video, it is just a collection of slideshow images taken once every 5 seconds. Now, even with this, there are some corporations, CBS, who will still try to do manual content ID matches. To combat this flagrant disregard of the fair use principle, you can try to grab a screenshot at a slower rate by using the D flag. To do this, go back to the command prompt and again type in your py slideshow.py. Except instead of going straight to the -i to indicate the input, we're going to do -d to indicate how often we want to grab a file. And I only want to grab one once every 10 seconds. Then I'll do my -i space and do tab a couple times until I get to the name of the file I want to turn into a slideshow. Now you can see over here that because I already ran this script, there is already an out video.mp4, and it's not going to automatically erase over it. It needs manual confirmation. So if for any reason you wanted to keep that original video, you could jump back here real quick, scroll down, and change out video to be something different. Now I don't care if this gets overwritten, so I'm just going to say yes and let it do its thing. Now that it's done, we'll jump back and check out our out video again and see that it is 45 minutes and 36 seconds-ish long, and it's going to say black longer this time because it is waiting to get to the next 10 seconds to transition to the slide. So we can see that yes, every 10 seconds we are grabbing an image. Now if this doesn't do it for you, if you're still getting content ID matches, or manual content ID matches rather, you're going to want to look into doing some other things like obscuring the video a little bit, adding some grainy filters, something like that, just so that the corporations that are pulling this sort of nonsense really don't have a leg to stand on in the defense of fair use. That's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope that you're finding these helpful, and if there's any subject you want me to go over, please be sure to leave me a comment in the area below. It may take me a while, but I promise I'll try to get to all of them. And until the next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.